Alright, so we've still got George Washington up here, and I'm going to go into the presets button now. And if I click on, now it's automatically, it says creative up here. If I click on creative, I actually have an option of many different things. I have creative, color, black and white, detail, effect, and camera. So those are all the preset types that I could select, and I'll go into creative first. And this is what comes up, and I'll go ahead and click through them. I've got cream tone, and what I should tell you about is this button up here. You see it's like a box with a line through it. Maybe if you watch this video in full screen mode you'll be able to see it, but you've got a box with a line through it, and if you just click that, that's the photograph before the edit was made, and that's the photograph after the edit was made. So this is an interesting effect, cream tone. What if I go to sepia tone? Before, after. If I go to selenium tone, that's got like more of a blue cast to it. Or split tone. An old Polaroid. You know, actually, for some of this, why don't I pick a different photograph and then show you? So I'll go back to, I'll go into my camera roll, and then I'll look at, maybe I'll look at, well, that one weird selfie that I took, maybe. And then I'll click the check mark, and remember that automatically then became a Lightroom photo. And I think what I'll do is crop this, and I'm going to click unlock, and I'm just going to crop it so that I do not see the circle anymore. I just see my, okay. So there I am. I'm going to click check mark on that, and now, in fact, I know we haven't gone into the slider yet, but I'm going to lighten it up just a little bit, because I think that'll help you see some of the so don't worry, I just went into a setting that we haven't looked at yet, but that's the light setting, and we'll take a look at it in a second. So I want to go back into presets. Now let's take a look at some of these. Might be a little more interesting than what happened on the dollar bill. So cream tone, sepia tone, selenium tone, split tone, old Polaroid. Or it's called, well, this is called old polar. Kind of a cool effect. Cross process 2, and cross process 3. I like that cross process 2 pretty well. Kind of has a cool effect. Maybe I'll click. I won't click a check mark on that. Well, I could. Okay, how about that? I'll click a check on that. So already it's looking a little different. So if I click this button here, remember the original and the edited version. Already you've got an image that I don't think you could, you could probably get an image like this in the iPhone app, the native iPhone camera app, but it wouldn't be quite as straightforward. So I'm going to go back into presets, and then I'm going to hit creative again. And now I'm going to go through and look at some of these other ones. Color. Now, maybe what I'll do is go back and take a picture that I have not messed with in order to use some of these. Let me get out of here. Let's go into the camera roll, and I'll click on this, and what I'll do is again lighten it up. Sometimes you can see the edit's a little better when you lighten it up, and maybe a little less contrast. Even though normally I like more contrast, in order to see these effects I'll take the contrast down a little bit. So I'm going into, we've already looked at creative, now we're looking at color. Now let's look at punch. Already that's just before and after. Before, after. Before, after. Looks good. Punch 1, 2, and 3, you could explore them. Low contrast, high contrast. I like that high contrast. Cool, well, here's cool. So it's got a little bit of a blue tint to it. And we got warm, devibe, that's a kind of like a desaturate, and then dynamic. So if I liked, let's see, maybe I won't edit this, I'll just kind of, if I was going to pick one though, what I might do is, I kind of liked that's a little too contrasty for me right there. The devibe one kind of worked. But I might take this and then boost the contrast a little bit. Punch 3 looked good too. So I also want to say that these are starting points, they're not end points. When you select one of these presets, don't think that, okay, now I'm done with my photograph. These are just sort of like generic, like, hey, this might work for your photograph. Then you're going to take this and sort of continue to edit it. And I'll show you a little bit more about that later. But I'm going to exit out of this, and I'm going to use my same photograph. I haven't manipulated it. That's the original there. And if I go into black and white, there's a lot of cool black and white settings. So there's auto black and white, contrast 25, contrast 50, contrast 75, contrast 100. And then we got low contrast. Oops, that was low contrast there. Portrait black and white. Sorry there. Portrait black and white. Film 1. I really like this one. I would probably pick that one so far. Film 2. Film 3. And film 4. So you could really just whatever one is kind of, whatever one looks right to you. I think I liked the film 1 seemed to do something for me. It had like, there's a lightness in there that I like. So I'm gonna just click it and then I'll zoom in. And this is where I would have to say doing this on a laptop or a desktop is preferable. If you have an iPad, just use this app with your iPad. Or if you have like a different tablet, because zooming in and really looking at like what the difference, here I'll go original, edited, original, edited, and just to kind of like look at the effect of it, it's a little easier on a bigger screen. You can definitely do it on the iPhone, but it's just a little bit more challenging. So we've now gone through creative, color, black and white, and in the next video I'll go ahead and show you the detail, effect, and camera.